Welcome back to Virginia This Morning. You know, money is often one of the big reasons couples get divorced. Well, our next guests say it's critically important to ask each other the tough questions about debt, credit score, and money habits before you say your I do's. Well, here to share some insight are husband and wife financial advisors Tracy Shackelford and Harold Phillipson. We welcome them to Virginia This Morning. Wonderful to see you folks. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You have a unique perspective on marriage and finances. Were you financial advisors prior to getting hitched?
We were actually not.
Not.
No. So we have been financial advisors for about a decade, and we've been married for almost 19 years. So.
What were some of the questions in that conversation that you had before you guys said your I do's?
I don't know if we had the structured questions that we would have now with our experience, but we talked about our philosophy on debt, on savings, how we were raised about money, whether or not we wanted children, what we thought about college for them, private schools, that type of thing, and that what we wanted for our future.
Why is it that money causes so many issues in relationships?
I think one of the issues is that people do not necessarily come clean before they get married.
Okay.
And that is definitely one of the most important things to do. So, you know what each other's background is, what your philosophy is, and how you grew up with money.
So maybe putting up a little bit of a front. Well, how do you break down that front and maybe get down to the root of some of the issues? Because as opposed to going into a marriage and then having those surprises pop up, you want to be truthful before you walk down the aisle.
Absolutely, and it's really a trust issue. And so much of this is about balancing the priorities of living for today, having fun, we were just talking about that, and planning for the future and how to do that. But it really is trust and communication that form the basis of any good relationship, and then to be able to talk about the stuff that maybe we're not so proud of, as well as the things we're really looking forward to creating together.
How can spending habits cause some issues as well?
Especially, I think we see it mostly with people who have different value sets. So if you've got two savers, you really don't have spending issues. And if you have two spenders, often they let each other do the spending. If you have a saver and a spender, that can cause some friction, as you might imagine.
Can you find a happy medium?
Absolutely. Don't you think?
What's some of the advice on if you have a spendthrift and the other one that squirrels money away in their mattress?
Again, I think it is all about having the conversation and finding that balance where you know what you need to save, so you know what the plan is for the future, and then make sure you save first, and then whatever is left over you can spend, and it's not a problem at that time. So.
You have a unique perspective because you are married. What is your advice? And you obviously have a great relationship. What's your advice on having that conversation? Because it can be very uncomfortable.
It can be really uncomfortable, and it can also cause a power imbalance, particularly if you do have a spender and a saver, and the saver might naturally feel a little more righteous. So, I mean, we think, not to tout our profession, but sometimes it can really help to have a neutral third party who asks both people and listens to both people, both spouses.
And not judge.
Correct.
Absolutely
the third
not
party
judge.
is not judging.
No.
Maybe just providing some guidance.
Yeah.
For the person that does have that conversation and they agree to maybe come up with a plan, how difficult is it to stick with that plan, the discipline?
Depends on the person.
Okay.
But I think what helps us as a couple and the people that we work with is agreeing to regularly sit down and review that plan.
Okay. That's what you do. It's regularly check in.
Absolutely. It's a regular check-ins. And you know what? If you fall off the wagon, the regular check-ins will let you get back on and move forward.
Do you advise for some couples to have independent spending accounts, or is it everything joint?
It depends.
Whatever is comfortable for them. So Tracy and I actually just decided to combine everything in joint accounts, but some people are more comfortable with keeping separate spending accounts and maybe have a joint account for the mortgage and groceries and things like that. It's just what they are comfortable with, as long as there is a structure that they agree upon, and then move forward from there.
Trace?
No, I absolutely agree. And I think what's really important that people often don't think about is money is a psychological issue. more than a black and white finance issue. And so really understanding where our background is from and what those messages are from our childhood is really, really critical to help figuring out what's a strategy that's going to work for us and for me.
That strategy, if you want to start, do you start slow, or do you need a 5-year, 10-year, 25-year plan to begin with? Or can it be, hey, maybe just for the next month, maybe a couple of months?
I think the vision, it's helpful if the vision is a long-term vision, and really, 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 if someone says, we want to buy a house in 5 years, what does the house look like? Where might it be? And really help them bring that vision to life. The same with the long-term strategies. And then maybe the steps are incremental at first, but once that vision comes to life, you know, they really buy into it, really own it.
I have to ask, how do you both manage a marriage and being financial advisors and money?
Well, we talk about it all the time, as you can imagine.
Sure.
And we do what we ask our clients to do. So it's actually really, really easy for us to advise our clients on doing what's best for them and their families.
So you practice what you preach.
You have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can feel the energy, positive
Absolutely.
energy. Carol, Tracy, great to see you.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
All right, for more information, you're going to find a link on our show website by early this afternoon at WTVR.com/VTM. Thank you so much, folks.